ball. I said, Lord up in heaven, honey, what's been wrong with you? You made a man into a monkey. Now the monkey's gonna monkey around. You're gonna find out sooner or later. You need a common denominator. Get up! If you know what I mean, I have to go as far as New Orleans, giving it up for your love, everything, giving it up for your love right now. Well, you ain't lost nothing that you can't do better with a $100 cab ride, Falcon, can't fly, Greyhound, Amtrak, all aboard a Cadillac. And I wanna thank you, baby, and my mama wants to thank you too. I say I'm better off with the blues.
But let's talk about Delbert. Let's talk about Bruce Chanel.
Just like the perfume.
You toured Europe with Bruce.
Toured England, toured British Isles.
British Isles. What was that billed as? You guys were like pioneers of going to Europe with American music, right?
Well, back in that time, this it was still in the infancy of rock and roll, actually. So there were very few precedents. So everything was kind of flying by the seat of our pants on everything.
Right.
Because
So was it a big full-blown tour? Or,
Oh yeah, it was a big deal.
The big hit was Hey Baby you were playing over there, right? And that leads me to my next question, which I'm sure you know what it is, about the harp lick that you played on Hey Baby. And
Sure, I played on Hey Baby.
And that led to John. You showed John some licks.
Well, it's hard to show anybody anything on a harmonica.
Okay.
So, you kind of do it and tell them what you're doing as best you can. And
That lick sure showed up in
well,
what you did.
it did. It's been romanticized a great deal as everything gets done, after a period of time. But we hung out all together for probably no more than 8 to 10 hours, and doing some different days. He was one of many people in opening bands that came to the dressing room and said, "Show me how you did that."
So Bruce was like big time.
Well, he had the #1 song, right? So he was the guy. And harmonica, I never really thought about it, but there was very little harmonica in it all in American rock and roll, So it was a novelty, and somebody from every band, on the tour would come to the dressing room and say, "Show me how you did that," or "Show me something," Everybody come in with a harmonica, and one night it was John, and we hung out and talked and played harmonicas but it was like I said, it was they hadn't changed the world yet, so we were on common ground, and we were all going to change the world.
He was just a guy,
just another guy,
Well,
which was a great way to go through that, because you didn't have to put on a special hat for anybody.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You described England at that time. I heard an interview with you as bleak. It was
Nah.
Jack quote.
No, well, somebody else said that. I never said that. I'll tell you exactly what I said.
Okay.
I said, coming down in the landing, we were up in the sunshine. We came down through the clouds and the drizzle into the London of my dreams.
Really?
Yes, it was a cloudy, foggy, drizzly day in London, just as I had always thought.
Just like you pictured it for you.
Perfect, It would have been bleak with a different attitude, but
Okay. I turned on to your music in the late '70s, and you had a few Delbert McClinton albums out. But I went back into your catalog, found these Delbert and Glenn records. Tell me about that collaboration, how you guys met, and because I don't hear enough about that. Is that
the drummer I was playing with in the band, his younger brother was a friend of Glenn's, and they were about 8-10 years younger than us. So Glenn was always around in those years. So when we'd be rehearsing over at Ray's house, the drummer, and Ray's little brother, and Glenn would be there soaking it up. So when he got older, he started playing B3 and singing, and ended up we started working together, you know, and having a good time doing it. So he moved to California, and I moved out there about a year and a half after he did, because he kept saying, you know, come out here.
Did you, how many records came out of that collaboration?
Well, there were two. We had one in 71 and 72, and then we had a new one 3 years ago.
Right. So is that the time in your life, the West LA, there were some bad record company experiences during that time, weren't there?
Every company I've ever been with without business while I was on the label. Except one.
And that's
The only one that I wish to go.
Oh, no.
But I don't want to go there.
Okay, I understand that. You played with some masters, your influence. I know you played with Sonny Boy, Howlin Wolf, Bobby Blue Bland.
Junior Parker.
Any stories, anything that stands out? I know those guys are big influences and had.
Well, the first joint I ever smoked in my life, I smoked with Sonny Boy in the bathroom of Mother's Place, a black club in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Wow. So Fort Worth, you were based in Fort Worth. Is that where it all started?
Pretty much, yeah.
And then when did the move to Nashville come? That was after LA.
Oh, that was 23 years ago. We moved from Nashville. I moved to Nashville.
Was it the music?
Well, it was a lot of things. The IRS took my house in Texas. We had to go somewhere.
Yeah, you and Willie had trouble with
Same deal.
Yeah.
Same kind of deal. And Wendy had come along, and she had sold her condo in Yonkers. And so she bought a condo in Nashville. And glad she did, because when the IRS took our house, that's where we moved.
How about your health? I know that you had some trouble.
I
I'm glad
had
to see
triple
you.
bypass 2.5 years ago, and hell, I feel like I'm 50 again.
That's cool. You know, I was talking to Teresa James, and you said that you had mentioned to her that you didn't even know you were sick. You just thought that was just getting old.
Well, I didn't. I mean, you know, I had none of the signs of having a heart problem.
Really?
But the day that I went to the emergency room, I knew something was wrong. I had been having a real bad heartburn for like a couple of days. And we were at a load-in one morning in St. Augustine, Florida. And I just got feeling so strange, you know, all over. Every fiber of my body was telling me something was wrong. So I got a ride to the emergency room. EMS guys came out first to the scene. And I got in that ambulance, and they checked me. I couldn't find anything wrong. Blood pressure, everything was all good. They said, well, you know, in order to know for sure whether or not you're having a heart problem, you need to go to you get your blood checked, because if you have a heart event, as they call it, of any kind, it releases an enzyme in your blood. And so I went to the emergency room. Sure enough, I had the enzyme. They did a cath the next morning, and I was 95% blocked in the main artery.
Whoa.
So I was a breath away from being dead.
Well, thank God you're here. You're looking good. Snapped out of it, man. Thank God.
I didn't know I felt so bad until I felt better.
Yeah. Didn't know what to compare to.
No, so it's all good, you know. Feel great.
Tell me about Imus. You and Imus are buddies?
Yeah. Once again, he was somebody I met who was famous, and I had no idea. So once again, it was all on common ground.
Nice.
I was playing a Lone Star Cafe in New York, and I was sitting in my bus outside, and Wendy came running in, and she said, Don Imus wants to come meet you. Said he's a big time DJ, been a DJ here and there forever and all. And she said, DJ, well, I'm not all that impressed with DJs, you know. I mean, you know what they are. Well, except for the ones from Australia. Well, you know what I mean. I mean, there wasn't a name that said, oh, this guy's coming in. So
Right.
I didn't know who he was. And so we got to talking, and we were both obviously a mess, you know, drugs, and
Yeah.
you could see it on both of us. So we talked about it, and the next time I see him, we talked about, well, are you doing any better with it? And so finally, that went on for a few years, and we both quit doing everything at the same time. And I chewed nicotine gum longer than he did, though. But I finally, the last night I had a piece of that was the night before my heart surgery.
Really? Yeah. You know, I remember I talked to you at the Cerritos Performing Arts Center, a gig you did out there.
Yeah.
You were sneaking hits off of my cigarette. You were quitting at the time, and I really felt bad giving you hits, but I was talking to Delbert McClinton, so it didn't matter. But
Well, you could have tried to help me.
well, I was trying to help you, and I wouldn't have if it wasn't you. I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But
If it was Joe Blow, you'd say, hey, you need to stop doing
that's
that.
right, and you know what? That doesn't make sense.
But that's all silly. I know it's silly. Yeah, well, I don't do that anymore.
You sang a song, "Read Me My Rights," out there. I think it was a relatively new song. Can you tell me about that song?
Well, I wrote that with another guy from Nashville, a guy who's been a staple around there forever. He's a blind piano player, and he's fantastic. And that was the only time we ever wrote together. We wrote that song.
I love that song.
Yeah, it's a good song.
When I saw you and Teresa James, you were doing a gig. It was my birthday, so it's kind of fading, fuzzy memory. I met you. My girlfriend tracked you down backstage after that concert, and she found you by saying, "Delbert, you're my hero." And you answered back in your voice. It was right after the show. You said, "You're my hero." And so we ended up talking, and we took pictures, and then it was I don't know how much later, maybe a year later, Hammerhead Stew came out. And that lyric, "Let me be your hero."
Yeah.
And my girlfriend is convinced that she had something to do with the inspiration for that song. So Tammy, here's Delbert.
I meant to give you an honorable mention.
Tell me about the harp. And I heard you talking to someone, you were being interviewed, and you talked about two different styles of harp, open and closed harp. You play open harp?
Well, there's cross harp is the way I refer to it.
Okay.
Cross harp and straight harp.
Okay.
And cross harp is that's the way you play in blues.
Okay.
You know anything about music?
A little bit.
Well, you know, in a regular blues song, there's the 1, the 4, and the 5.
Right.
Okay, well, if you're playing cross harp, you play the 4. If the song's in 1, you play the 4 harp.
Okay.
And so, and the difference, to give you an example, Bob Dylan plays straight harp.
Okay.
That's a straight harp. It's not blues harp.
Okay.
Blues harp is a whole lot of sucking and bending them, you know. So that's the difference in the two styles.
Tell me, I have Live in Austin, which is a great live record, but your studio stuff is just spectacular and amazing. What do you prefer? Do you like the feedback and the vibe from the live, or would you rather be in a studio where you have more control?
Oh man, they're two different animals altogether. You
Right.
know? A good live show is a good live show is a good live show.
Right.
The end, you know.
Well, that's true.
But in the studio, you get to say, what if we did this? And you can do it. If you don't like it, you don't use it.
Right.
So you can, you know, there's always. I don't think I have a problem with it, but so many people do. Is you could work on something, polish it till it don't shine.
Right.
And you can take all of the, you know, I'm for leaving in all the sounds of the living person singing, the breath, the little bitty tiny things that make it sound like you're there, you know, instead of being so clean and smooth that it's got
Sanitary.
Yeah.
It gets all sterile.
Yeah, it gets real sterile. It can.
We were talking about Teresa James and your duet. You won a Grammy with Bonnie for Good Man, Good Woman. Great song. I think it was on both your records that came out.
Yeah.
And was that your first Grammy?
Yes.
That was long overdue, in my opinion.
Well,
And you've got another one since, or two more.
I got 2 more.
Okay. You've worked with Bonnie, Teresa. You've done a lot of duets. Any possibility you're going to do more in the future with anybody?
Never say never.
Well, I hear that. Anything on the new record?
No.
No.
No, it's all me. That's background.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that new project, the new CD coming out.
Okay.
Who's on it besides Delbert McClinton?
My band you're gonna hear tonight.
Okay. So you tour with those guys and record with them.
Right.
All right. Any guests or special things? Or?
Wait a minute, I'm getting prompted over here. Oh, well, I hadn't got there yet. She said, but the musicians were my band.
The chord.
Although I do have one song that I got Jimmy Vaughn and Lou Ann Barton to come in.
Nice.
with me on.
Nice.
So, So, you know, there's a couple of things like that where we have a trombone come in to play a solo out on a song. So those were just a few of the people that were in the band, but basically it's all the guys you're going to hear tonight.
Nice. You do this thing on a boat for like the past 20-something years, 24 years?
2 years.
Sandy Beaches Cruise. It's on my bucket list too. This is close to it, sitting here talking to you like this, but I'd sure love to go on one of those. Let's talk about it. When is it coming up? I think it's January?
January the 6th.
January 6th. Pretty much, it looks a lot like this big blues bender that we got. A bunch of the talent that...
It does. It's just so you're sitting out on the ocean doing it.
How do you like that? I mean, you obviously do for 20-something
Well,
years.
I like it a lot. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's
Is it a lot of work for you, or?
no, it's not work. It's fun. You know, I get to be the host, so everybody loves me.
Well, I know that. You know what? I was talking to Jimmy Hall yesterday, and he was talking about it and how much fun he has on that cruise.
It's just a lot of fun, and I have the excuse that I don't get trapped by anybody, you know, because I'm moving around, making sure everybody's having a good time. So that's kind of, I'm the butterfly.
Social.
See it, and we'll talk to some
That's pretty cool.
And yeah, so it's great. You know, I love doing it. It's great fun.
And so tickets are still on sale. What's the website for the Sandy Beach Cruise? Do you know?
Delbert.com.
Delbert.com. That's an easy one. That's the website for all things Delbert.
Absolutely.
All right. So we got the website taken care of. The new CD, does it have a name?
It does, but I'm not going to tell you what it is right now.
Ooh, keep me in suspense. That's all right. Luann Barton's going to be on it. We got that much out of you.
She's singing on it, and Jimmy's playing. They're both playing on one song with me.
I'm friends with this guy on Facebook, Clay McClinton.
Yeah.
Tell me about that guy.
Well, that's my youngest son, and he had a birthday 4 days ago.
Oh, happy birthday, Clay.
Yeah, happy birthday, buddy. So he's playing music again, and in and around Austin, and he's doing great.
That's good to hear.
It is.
Tell me if there's anybody, well, so tell me first, when you were coming up, it sounds like your career just launched when you took off with Bruce and you went to Europe and everything, you haven't slowed down since. But was there a time in your formative years when maybe you were going to give it up? You weren't never, you just went jumped in?
No, and by the time I did that thing with Bruce, I had already been playing for, well, I started the band about 1955.
Really?
First band.
Nice. What was the name of that band?
Well, the first band was called the Mellow Fellas. And first gig we ever played was we opened up for Jerry Lee Lewis's first appearance at the Sportatorium in Dallas.
Wow. Wow.
So,
So you didn't have trouble getting gigs, I guess?
well, our band in that deal, we had 4 guitar players, a drummer who had a bass drum, a snare drum, and a hi-hat, and a saxophone player. We didn't have a bass player at all, and nobody could really play guitar. It was awful. But you know, and you got to start somewhere, and so that's where we
That's
started.
where you started. What kind of music do you listen to when you're just putzing around and cleaning house and
I like to listen to Lester Young.
Lester Young?
I like to listen to Miles. I like to listen to music without lyrics.
Really?
Jazz, mostly. Yeah.
That's interesting. The music industry, as you know, has gone through some serious changes, but mostly within the last 10 or 15 years with the online piracy, the Napster, there's no such thing as a record deal anymore unless you open your own record label.
There's not.
So,
There's no way to make money anymore except doing live performances.
That's right.
Because there's no such thing. Your publisher's gone, writers is gone. It's all once it comes out, it's free there for anybody who knows how to get it.
we gotta figure out a way to get you guys back.
The
on
genie's out of the bottle. It ain't never
It ain't going back in.
No. How's it gonna go back?
Well, we gotta figure out.
How is everybody gonna say, okay, I'm gonna quit stealing music?
No, well, see, that's not what, I'm talking more about the streaming and the artists getting 10 cents on the dollar for the.
Well, they don't get 10 cents. They don't get that much.
Yeah.
No. On streaming, I think as of a couple of weeks ago, you get 1/8 of 1%.
That's pathetic. See, that's what we gotta change. That's somehow, we got to put the artist in more control of the money.
Well,
Somehow, I don't know how we're going to
yeah,
do it.
good luck with that.
Well, you know, we're putting our heads together. It's working.
Yeah, it's you know, it's a new world, a new day, man. You can't go back to that. Can't go back to any of that at all.
But we got to feed. There's got to be a way to create a musicians network or a.
Well, you would think that there's something that could be done, but you know, this music comes on so many different levels that many of the levels aren't plugged into any kind of promising event.
Yeah, I know.
And I know so many people that are fighting on that right now, and all they get is frustration. So, you know.
I'm hoping there's an answer.
Well, I'm hoping too, but hope's not a method, you know.
Yeah,
so.
you're right. You're right.
And, you know, I'm not going to worry about it. There's nothing I can do about it. I've got a good life, and I'm going to continue it until I can't anymore.
Are there any youngsters out there that you got an eye on that you that are promising that
Oh, there's an awful lot of young guys now that are phenomenal players. But you know, I listen to the singers.
Right.
And I don't hear a lot of people sing that I care about,
really?
and haven't for a long time. Lady Gaga's a monster. She is unbelievably good.
That surprises me to hear you say that. She is good, and I agree with
She
you.
is amazing.
That's the trip.
So that's what I listen for, people that can sing, really sing, instead of pretend to sing.
Right.
You know, there are singers and there are people who can sing.
I get it. I
Yeah.
totally agree. You know, I mean, Teresa, for one.
Teresa's
Bonnie, of course. Luann, oh my God, she's amazing. Sherry is a hell of a singer.
I haven't heard Sherry.
Well,
I've got her CD though.
that's good. She's one to watch out for.
I
Well-
understand she likes shoes.
She does like shoes. That's her thing. She's obsessed.
They're all obsessed.
I think you're right.
They're all obsessed.
I think you're right.
I bet you right now, if we went through my wife's closet, there are 70 pairs of shoes, and that's conservative.
Ain't nothing.
Instead of buying them, they ought to just change boxes full of everything.
Or trade.
Same size.
Get in there with
Here. Because a lot of them don't get worn but once.
Right. It goes with this.
If ever.
Oh, she says she's got a lyric in her song. The title cut of that CD says, "Even the ones I won't even wear, she's obsessed with them." She buys them. Well, the website is Delbert.com for all things Sandy Beaches, all things Delbert. The new album yet to be disclosed. The title with a couple of special guests, but with my good friend here, Delbert McClinton, and anything he's ever done is magic as far as I'm concerned. You can do no wrong.
There you go.
If you would do me a favor and give us a shout out to AJ Gross, the Big Blues Bender.
Well, AJ is an amazing character. I've only just met him, but he impressed me in many ways, and he's on to something here. This many people able to get home safely at night is a pretty big deal in itself.
That's right. You
And
know
that's
what?
happening right here.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah,
An elevator right away.
that's it. You can crawl back to your room.
That is so cool.
That's kind of the way it is on the boat, see. There's always someone to help you home.
Short of falling overboard, you really can't get too hurt. That's cool.
It's all good.
All right, Delbert,
Thank you, my friend.
I
appreciate
so
it.
appreciate it.
She used to live in Shreveport, but then she moved. Bet you tender while she gone to Baton Rouge. I'm gonna look her up, if you know what I mean. I have to go as far as New Orleans. It's been fine talking to you, but